Join the hunt. If you were on the run across Britain, relentlessly hounded by XSAS, KGB, and the scrutiny of an ever-vigilant public, you'd have the right to be nervous. Wanted, a lesson in hot pursuit, soon on 4.
Now on 4, a brand new series comes to Wednesday evening. 6 fugitives on the run, and you can help to track them down in Wanted.
Drew Kane and Scott Burgess, Andrea and Lisa Gordon, David Angus and Andy Stewart. Tonight, these people are on the run somewhere in mainland Britain. We have just 1 hour to track them down. We need your help on Wanted.
Welcome to Wanted, the only game on television that runs 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Now, the premise of this game is quite simple. If you understand hide and seek, you will understand Wanted. The main difference is that on this show, there's £168,000 worth of prize money at stake. Now, these 6 people you saw at the beginning of the programme have been on the run for a week with 3 highly trained trackers in hot pursuit, and their progress has been monitored by our Wanted headquarters team here in West London, and they're going to be keeping us right up to date throughout the programme because everything hinges on what happens in the next hour. For the duration of this show, and for the first time in the past 7 days, the runners have got to stay put. Now, if they evade capture, they live to fight another week and they play on for big money. But if they're caught, they're right out of the game and they lose everything. Now, you'll pick up the rules as we go along. We'll give you the details shortly. But right now, each of our 3 teams should be holed up in a phone box somewhere in mainland Britain. So let's get on with the game and find out where we're playing Wanted tonight. Scott and Drew, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Richard.
Hi, now you're both part-time barmen, aren't you? And you're our first contestants on Wanted. What does that feel like?
A lot more stressful than we did imagine initially.
Did you have any idea what you were letting yourselves in for?
Absolutely none.
None at all?
Not now. No, not after this week, no.
We'll find out how you got on later. What we need to know from you is where you are tonight.
Tonight, we are in England.
We know you're in England. You've got to be more specific than that.
Hey! Well, you want to know more?
We want to know more, yeah.
Oh, come on. OK, well, what about the Midlands then?
OK, we've got to be more specific than that. What town? What part of a town are you in?
Solihull?
Solihull. OK, right. Solihull is all we know because one of the rules that I said you'd pick up as we went along is that all the runners have to tell us which 10-kilometre square of Britain, taken from the Ordnance Survey map, they're in tonight. Now, I think we can look at the map that Scott and Glenn are in right now. Now, we can tell you that, Scott and Drew rather, I can tell you that this is southeast Birmingham as they narrowed it down to Solihull. It's Jasper Carrot territory, in fact, population of 200,000. It includes the M40 and M42 junction, so that's where they're playing tonight. And the crucial thing is they think they've been clever, but there are only 85 phone boxes in that area. So let's meet the woman who has to work out which phone box Scott and Drew are hiding in.
Victoria Fay, age 25, hair blonde, eyes blue. Special skills, investigative journalism, extreme sports.
That's our first team, and we'll be speaking to the lovely Victoria later. What about our next team? Dave and Andy, they're cabbies from Liverpool. Can you hear me, Dave and Andy?
Yeah, we can hear you, Richard.
OK, now which part of the country are you hiding in tonight?
We're close to London. We're close to London.
What do you mean close to London? Are you in Greater London? Are you in East, West or where?
Well, I don't know. I don't know the area.
Well, you're cabbies. It's hardly surprising you don't know your way around, is it?
We'll put you on the high rate.
OK, well, what you have had to do, like all our other contestants, they've had to tell us which 10-kilometre grid they're in. So let's have a look at that right now. Now, we've been able to narrow this down to East London. It's east from the city across. It includes quite a few well-known national monuments, including St Paul's, the Tower of London, and the heart of it was the Cray twins' old stamping ground, so maybe they've chosen well, because people in this part of the world know how to keep a secret. One thing they've done that has been very sharp is there are 2,569 phone boxes in this square. So their tracker has one hell of a job on his hands tonight. Let's meet him.
Paul Denchfield, age 28, hair blonde, weight 11 stone, special skills, expedition leader, survival techniques.
We'll talk to Paul later too, but at this stage we should have met our third team, sisters Lisa and Andrea from London, but I did warn you this was a tough game, and they're our first casualties. After 6 days on the run, 6 days, they threw in the towel and they refused to leave their hotel room to join us on the programme tonight. Now, later, we'll show you them cracking up on film, but first, let's meet the man who drove them to it.
Dave McBride, age 32, height 6'2", weight 15 stone. Special skills, qualified barrister, champion boxer, SAS trained.
Right, well, you've met the hunted and the hunters, and these are the places in Britain. If we look at our big map, you can see we're playing in Birmingham tonight. Solihull, we've managed to narrow that down. We're playing in London, in the east of London, somewhere in a 10-kilometre grid. You can see on the map these 10-kilometre grids we've divided the country up to. Ipswich, it's flashing, but we're not playing there anymore because Lisa and Andrea have thrown in the towel. Now, we need your help to find our runners tonight. And if you've seen any of these people today, or if you can see them now, or if you think you can help our trackers in any way, please give us a call, 0990 100 300. That's 0990 100 300. Now then, you might think it's quite easy to lose yourself when you've got all of this whole of mainland Britain to hide in, and you've only got one person out there looking for you. But would we make it that easy? No chance. This is how the game works.
Wednesday, October 23rd, 9:30 p.m. The runners are released and disappear into the night. The game has begun. 12 hours later, the wanted trackers set off in pursuit. Runners must keep on the move. Britain is divided into a giant grid of 10-kilometre squares. Runners must move at least 1 square a day. Once they leave a square, they can never return. Runners must use public transport only, buses, trains or cabs. No hire cars, no hitchhiking, no lifts from friends. Runners are forced into contact with the public. Each day they must perform a task set by the wanted organisation. Attend a wedding, for example, feed a farm animal or meet the local mayor. They must send us proof on video that they have completed their assignment. These tasks are the key to the prize money. Runners win £1,000 each day for carrying out their task. But their trackers are armed with cameras too. If a tracker finds and films a pair of runners, they lose that day's money, whether they've done their task or not. Back at base, the wanted organisation has one mission: to find the runners. They pass on sightings from the public. They phone every bus station, every bed and breakfast, wherever the runners have been seen. Wanted. They can run, but can they hide? We're about to find out.
OK, well, those are the rules. It's not as easy as you thought, is it? Let's get on with the game. Our first team on Wanted tonight, we've met them already. Scott and Drew, they're part-time barmen from Glasgow. Scott's 24, Drew's 25. They're being tracked by Victoria Fay. You're coming in loud and clear, can you hear me?
Yes, we can still hear you, Richard.
Right, now, your special skills are part-time barman. Have you got any special tactics to go with those skills?
Yes, a lot of drinking.
I'll join you afterwards, but for now, what are you doing? What have you done to make yourself scarce?
A lot of travelling, a lot of taxis, meeting a lot of mayors.
Right, well, I've been looking through the newspaper cuttings. I saw a piece from the Scotsman at the weekend which says you've employed all your friends in the bar trade in Scotland.
We decided that we're going to stay with friends of friends every night, so we don't leave any clues at bed and breakfast.
So there's a whole network of Scottish barmen and their relatives helping you out, is there?
Yeah, definitely. That's what's going on.
Okay, well stay with us because we want to have a look at your route. We know where you're hiding out. You're here in Solihull at the moment. This is them on the green route. Now they left the studio here in London. They headed south. They went across there, right round across the south coast of the country, back here, up through the Midlands, and they ended up where they are in Solihull tonight. Now, as we've already explained, all our runners and trackers have got cameras with them to keep a record of their week on the road. The runners have to complete a daily task. And in Scott and Drew's case, it was to shake hands with a different mare in full regalia every day. And their tracker, Victoria, knew this.
It's 10:30 and we're in Brixton. We're staying in here so that Victoria won't know where we are tomorrow because we've got our plans, we've all got it sorted out. So we're a bit relaxed and we're just chilling out, and hopefully it will all just be as nice as this. So, cheers.
An early start for the lads on Thursday as they headed for Sussex. First stop was the Mayor's Parlour in Lewes.
Pleased to meet you.
And I'm Drew Kane.
Pleased to meet you.
So we've now done our first task and we're shaking hands with our first mare.
And no sign of Victoria. Brilliant.
Victoria had a hunch they were in the southeast, but she was 30 miles away in Maidstone, handing out posters.
I didn't see him.
No. All right, thanks anyway.
Meanwhile, the boys rock to Brighton, where they meet a Guinness-drinking Guardian reporter. They agree to be interviewed, provided he gives them a bed for the night. The morning after the night before, they meet the Mayor at Brighton Pier.
We usually provide better weather than this.
Scott and Drew had planned their campaign with military precision. So where better to lay low on Friday night than behind the perimeter wall of Portsmouth Naval Base?
This is Chris.
Drew.
Hi Chris.
How you doing? Scott. The camera. Oh, bang. How you doing? All right.
And they soon recruited the help of the commanding officer.
Pleased to meet you.
Very nice to meet you as well. Yeah. Come and have a seat.
Now pay attention, men. Synchronise watches. My secretary will arrange a meeting with the Mayor of Portsmouth.
Thank you. Right. Bye-bye. Okay. 8 o'clock, just outside Victory Gate, up by the harbour entrance. They'll meet you, shake hands, take a shot, and then we'll get you straight across the ferry.
That's excellent. Thanks very much. Get the Navy in there.
The rendezvous took place at the ferry terminal, and the boys had set sail for Gosport before Victoria had finished her Special K.
That was great that the Mayor came to see us. He was right on time and nobody was chasing him, so we've relaxed. We're not as nervous anymore.
Well, they should be, because for the first time Victoria's hard on their heels, and 3 hours later she pays a call on the Mayor.
Whereabouts did you meet them?
In Portsmouth, in the heart of Portsmouth.
The heart of Portsmouth? That sounds a bit wet.
Were they clean shaven?
Can't quite remember. I think one of them may have had a. I think one of them may have had a beard actually. Yeah.
No beard there.
In about 20 minutes.
And no beard there.
Are you sure you're telling me the truth?
Would I? Are you saying a Lord Mayor would not tell the truth?
Calling all cars, this is Victoria Fay here from Channel 4. I desperately need all your help. There were two
Well, she
boys
certainly got
this
none from the
morning
Mayor,
at about
so she appeals to the local
came
cabbies.
across on the ferry from Portsmouth. Basically, it's a £50 reward for anybody who can tell me if they dropped them off, and if so, where did you drop them off?
Drawing a complete blank, Victoria had only one trick up her sleeve, the sympathy card. She had the boys' mobile number, so she gave them a call.
You don't sound very happy.
Well, it's just because I just don't know where you are or anything. Give me any clues at all?
No, absolutely none.
No, I didn't think you would. Worth a try, though, wasn't it, love?
Well, you'll
Unlucky,
find out
love,
soon
the
enough.
boys weren't falling for it. And while Victoria contemplated doing a Reggie Perrin, Scott and Drew set about hoovering up mayors and money.
How do you do? Do you all like it?
It's lovely. We've had a walk round and it's beautiful.
So I'm just going to shake the Mayor's hand to prove that I've carried out my task. Thanks very
Me
much.
too.
Carried out their task.
Thank you.
There's regalia on. I'm just going to shake his hand now.
That's another mare. 6 mares we've met, 1 down to go, and they've all been on our side, so thanks again.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Drew.
Don't you just love the Mayor of Portsmouth? I don't know, I never thought I'd see a politician lying on television, did you? Anyway, if you've seen them, they're in Solihull, give us a call, 0990 100 300. Our switchboard is open, our wanted organisation are here to take your calls. And just to make it a little less easy for the lads, we've rounded up 2 men who know what it's like to hunt and be hunted. They are John O'Connor, former head of the flying squad at Scotland Yard. I nearly said that right, John. Right, and Oleg Gordievsky, a former KGB spy. Now, Oleg, Scott and Drew seem to have done very well this week, and they've managed to resist Victoria's charms, haven't they?
Yes, they did. Victoria was playing weak, but it was just a trick, and they resisted it very well, because they're simply very good runners. They are not gullible, not naive, they're well organized, they are careful, and they're simply right and proper people. But please don't underestimate Victoria, who is a brilliant tracker. She's intelligent, sharp, not just pretty eyes. She's very good, very fit, and she will find new tricks to outsmart them.
Well, I wonder what new tricks those will be, John. I mean, they've thrown her off the scent quite well, haven't they?
They've led her an absolute merry dance, but it's a very clever move of theirs to do those South Coast towns, where most of those South Coast towns have got mares, and they're all in fairly close proximity. A super tactic, and it's very clever the way they've backtracked on themselves again. My only reservation is, and I say I know Victoria's had a merry dance, but my only reservation is the move up to Solihull, which is, as you said earlier, there's only a few phone boxes there by comparison. And I
85, that's all.
Yeah, and I actually think that Victoria will get her revenge later on today.
Who are you backing in this one, Oleg?
I know Victoria very well, and she's a wonderful person and very experienced tracker, investigative journalist. She is going to win, I think.
And what tips would you give Victoria if she was one of your coppers on the beat and she's sent out to look for them?
Well, you wouldn't need to give her tips because she's so resourceful in the fact that she uses other people all of the time. Of all the trackers, she's the one that uses most other people. She's very clever at it. OK,
let's go back to our big screen and talk to Scott and Drew. We've just been talking to Oleg and to John O'Connor. They're back in Victoria to find you. How confident do you feel tonight?
Well, we feel a lot less confident than we did at the beginning of the week.
Why do you say that?
Well, we knew that Victoria was in Solihull yesterday because the mayor actually phoned us at our safe house yesterday, and so we knew where she was. And when she called us and told us lies and said she was miles away, we knew that she was just bluffing. So
tell me something. Have you been bribing these mares?
Sorry?
Have you been bribing these mares?
No. We made a donation to charity today of £100 to the mayor. We haven't bribed anyone.
OK, £100. Now, that'll have to come out of your prize money at some stage.
Yes, it came out of our own pocket.
So how much do you think you're going to be playing for tonight? We've seen you. You haven't seen Victoria's VT, though, have you?
No, we haven't.
So what do you think? How much do you think you'll be playing for if you don't get caught tonight?
At a conservative estimate, I'd say between, well, maybe 5,000 or 6,000.
You're doing one better than that. If you're not caught tonight, lads, I can tell you, you'll be on for the full £7,000. You've had an absolutely brilliant week.
Thank you.
You feel good about that, don't you?
I feel great.
But you know you've made one big error that could get you caught before the end of the game.
Yep.
There are only 85 phone boxes in the area that you've chosen, and you've got to stay put for the rest of the show. You realise that, don't you?
Yeah, we do.
And Victoria has had all day to try and find you.
Yep.
OK, well, let's see what she's been up to. Victoria, can you hear me? There she is, the great lady. They've led you a bit of a dance, haven't they?
Yes, they have. They're very, very clever, Richard. I don't underestimate them at all.
I mean, we saw your special skills at the top of the programme. It said extreme sports. I mean, what is that? Topless darts or something?
That's a bit of a bad joke, Richard, actually. Now, do you want to know what I've been up to today?
What I want to know is where you were when you found out the lads were in Solihull this morning.
Where was I?
Yeah.
I was in Solihull as well.
So you weren't far away.
This afternoon, Richard, can I just say, this afternoon, I had an amazing hot tip. Basically, a phone call came through, an anonymous phone call down the phone line, and basically, they said that the boys were hiding in a lane, and I went to the lane, I staked it out, I think the girls saw me, okay, and basically they might have got away from that. But what I've done, I'm near the lane that I think they are now, and I've recruited my own little army. Now, they've been armed with posters and maps of the area and 10p to call into the studio. So I'm going to send them off now, and I'm going to get in my Jeep and drive around and have a look as well.
One other thing.
Do you want to go? Yeah!
Victoria, one other thing. Didn't you put an appeal in the local paper, the Evening Mail, tonight?
Yes, I did, with pictures of the boys. I was on radio. The police are looking out, and the taxi firms as well.
So you feel pretty confident you're going to find these guys before the end of the programme, don't you?
Well, yeah, there's only 85 phone boxes in Solihull, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
You're going to cover the waterfront. We'll come back to you. Let's go over to our wanted control and talk to Tanya, who's coordinating things. What is the latest position up there in Solihull?
Well, if you look at the map, our tracker Victoria is represented by the car symbol. She's there at the Leisure Centre in Tudor Grange Park. Now, we've already today had 32 phone calls, which put them round there, so we're pretty certain...
So the public are responding really well to our appeals. Can we be more specific and tell us, for people who are watching in the Solihull area, where exactly we think they are?
We can't at this time. We don't have enough information. What we need is an exact location. We need somebody to look out the window and see them out there. OK, well, you heard what Tanya said.
We need an exact location. If you're in Solihull, give us a call if you've seen them, 0990 100 300. Let's go back over to our big UK map here, and we'll find out exactly where we're playing Wanted tonight. As you can see, you can forget all about Ipswich. We lost our two girls in Ipswich. They threw the towel in. They bottled out completely earlier. Scott and Drew are up here somewhere in Solihull, and Andy and Dave, our Scouse cabbies, are somewhere in East London. I said, we need your help. If you see either of our teams, I'll give you the number again, 0990 100 300. That's 0990 100 300. Give us a call. We want to hear from you. And don't forget, join us again in a couple of minutes to find out how these two Scouse cab drivers ended up with a Bulgarian barmaid. Okay, thank you. Welcome back to Wanted, television's only 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week manhunt. Now, we've already lost one team who cracked under the strain after 6 days, and they gave up completely. Now, we've left Scott and Drew, our Scottish barman, in a phone box somewhere in Solihull with their tracker Victoria Fay closing in on them. Now, as you saw in part one, Victoria has recruited an army of children. I've been told they're from the Solihull Athletics Centre. They're scouring every phone box in the Solihull area, and let's remember there's only 85 on them, so we could be on for a capture before the end of the programme. Now let's get the latest on our remaining team. They're Andy and Dave, pair of Liverpool cabbies. Where are we up to on Andy and Dave? Can we see this over here somewhere?
If you take a look at the map, we've had about 16 calls, put them at various points around the city. So again, we don't know exactly where they are. They're represented on that map by the runner symbol.
Now we know they're somewhere in East London, somewhere in the Hackney area, don't we?
We do know that, but we still don't know where. Paul, meanwhile, is at the Town Hall on Hackney High Street, and he's just waiting for further leads.
No calls as yet?
Well, we've had 32 citing them around that sort of area, but we need to pinpoint them now.
OK, you heard what Tanya said. We need your help if we're going to catch Dave and Andy before the end of the show. 0990 100 300. Let's go over to our big screen where we can talk to Dave and Andy. Remember, none of our teams can leave this phone box for the hour, and this programme is on the air. Now, hi, chaps. You getting a bit nervous?
Not nervous as yet, Richard, no.
Well, I don't know. That didn't sound as confident as part one, did it?
We're trying to do our best. We're trying to, keep calm.
OK, now let's find out. Let's find out a wee bit about you. Now, you're both married. Dave's got 2 kids, Andy's got 3. Do you want to say hello to them?
Yeah, I think we both like to say hello to all our families.
Do you think they're watching, or do you think they're glad to see the back of you?
Nah, no way. We've been on the phone all the time, and we know just how much the families are missing us, and we're missing them. Now,
what was this trick about? You left one part that you did a complete loop, didn't you?
Well, it was a bit of a plan. We thought use the best best use of the squares that we could find, you know, because obviously we want to try and go on for another week or more weeks.
Well, you've done brilliantly well, because unlike the lads in Solihull who've only got 85 phone boxes, you've got 2,569. How did you find that?
A little bit of help from a relative of Dave's.
It looks as if Dave's been spotted. I just saw Dave giving the thumbs up. Have you been spotted?
No, you wouldn't believe it, but the first time we're actually getting questioned.
Who by?
Two policemen outside.
I think John O'Connor's sent them.
Yeah, they're talking to someone outside now.
They're wondering what's going on. Well, stay there. We're going to go to the big map, and we're just going to find out exactly where you are, and we're going to look at your route. Now, Andy and Dave, they set off from West London. They went all the way round the houses. You can see they've gone up here, out here, round through Oxford, Basingstoke, and they've actually come back 6 miles from where they started. They've managed to clock up, mind you, 306 miles. So it's typical cabbies. They go south of the river, work their way round, and I bet they left the meter running all the way through. Anyway, they are going to earn money because, like all our teams, they stand to win £1,000 for every day they manage to avoid being filmed and they successfully complete the tasks we've given them. Now, Dave and Andy's task was to visit a different castle every day and get a guided tour. Their tracker, Paul, was on their case.
Been stood outside this Piggin Castle now for 2 hours. We have been waiting for wee time for 3 hours.
These are my only jeans, Rich. They're light blue now, but in a minute they're going to be dark blue.
So that's what they mean by tie-dyed. Finally, a tour guide turned up.
You're the custodian, let us say, of this fine castle. Well, to be precise, I'm a keeper.
Meanwhile, Paul hears from the Wanted organisation that the boys have been sighted in Berkhamsted. As they can only travel on public transport, he makes straight for the bus station.
These are all the drivers who are on their break at the moment, and hard earned break it is. I was wondering whether anyone here had seen these guys. You going to be looking out for them?
I'll find them. Never mind about looking out for them. If they're in this area, they're found.
But he didn't find them. He was probably waiting for 3 to come along at once. The next day they turned up in Donington. They have to visit a castle, so they think laterally.
Stand in a car park of a pub called The Castle. Have your name, please, mate?
I'm John.
John?
Yeah.
You are the...
I'm the assistant manager.
Assistant manager of...
The castle. This is our dining area. As you can see, we seat 36 maximum.
2 days now they've got away from me. That's £2,000 if they don't get caught in their phone box. They're on a roll. I've got to stop it.
You should be so lucky. On Saturday, our Likely lads actually visited a real castle at Farnham in Surrey. Then it was off to the tourist office in Guildford to find a bed for the night. Sadly, there was no room at the inn, and it looked like a lost cause until they found an amazingly accommodating assistant.
Right, no luck. Maggie from the Tourist Information Centre.
In Guildford.
In Guildford, because they're wonderful. They're wonderful in Guildford.
They are.
Put us up for the night.
That's right.
People won't believe that.
Because we couldn't get him anywhere else.
You trying to say no one else wanted to take him?
Nobody else wanted him.
Meanwhile, in the lounge, Maggie's husband was blissfully unaware there were 2 strange scousers in the house. And he was probably still fast asleep the following morning when his missus gave them a tour of Guildford Castle.
The castle.
You're in the little bit here behind you is the old kitchens.
Meanwhile, Paul is 22 miles away in Horsham, getting increasingly frustrated.
They could be anywhere right now. I have no idea. I'm completely lost, but they don't seem to be travelling that far.
With no leads, he took a shot in the dark.
We decided on picking Tunbridge as a place to stay the night. That's because it's got 3 castles there, all in easy shooting distance. Tunbridge Castle itself, 8:30 in the morning it opens up. They like being by a castle, which they can get to nice and early. When it's Sunday night and I'm in my hotel room, the castle is literally just over there, and this is as close as I've got to a trap so far. So I'm hoping that they've earmarked this castle as their first castle in the morning. I'll be there waiting for them. Well, I'm here, it's 8 o'clock, it's Tunbridge Castle, and I can't imagine the last time that somebody was standing on this turret keeping watch. But they haven't showed, and I still feel this unbelievable sense of anticipation that they're definitely going to come here today. And if they do, I want to get them. They deserve to be got. They're literally just down there. I'm hiding, I'm ducking down. I've got them, I've got them. Yes.
That'll cost them £1,000.
Man, this is good.
Meanwhile, our poor cabbies are still blissfully unaware of the enemy in the battlements. Paul Denchfield follows them to the station, but they do a Paul Daniels.
Well, they've completely disappeared. They've vanished. Pop. Thin air.
24 hours later, they resurfaced at the Castle Pub in Croydon.
Come on in. Hi. Hello. What's your name?
Nadia.
Nadia. And where are we, Nadia?
In the castle.
Right, I believe you've got a good quiz team, haven't you?
Yeah.
Won a few awards.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dave, she's supposed to give you the tour.
And where do you come from?
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria?
Yeah.
Guided tour, she didn't even speak English. But that was yesterday. This is what happened today.
Well, this is a taxi driver's finishing school, and I'm going to see if I can recruit any of them because they know London better than anybody else. Cheers. Hi, guys. I wonder whether you could just grab these. Yeah. Have a look at them. I wonder whether you guys could help me find them this evening because they're going to be in a phone box at 8:30. Yeah. And they could be hanging around the Bethnal Green Hackney area, I reckon, today. Is that all right? Yeah? Do you want to get on your bikes and go for a quick scoop because I'm going to be driving around trying to get as many people out on the road as possible? Yeah? Great stuff. Cheers. Let's go. Go on, guys. Let's go. We got all the cabbies to hunt them down. I'm going to.
John O'Connor, it takes a thief to catch a thief. Maybe it takes a cabbie to catch a cabbie.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, these are a couple of streetwise Scouser scallies. And if I was Paul, I'd be watching those wheels on that new Jeep Cherokee.
And the radio.
And the radio. They've done remarkably well. I mean, the route they've taken is very clever. And to end up where they are now, in that highly dense area, population-wise and telephone-wise, is very good. And they've left the rest of the country open to them if they want to carry on for next week.
And they're obviously playing long-term here, aren't they?
I think they are, because the obvious place one would have thought they'd go is Liverpool. I think they're saving Liverpool for later.
They want that for week 8, don't they, when they're playing for really big money?
I think you're right, absolutely right.
I mean, you know how easy it is to get lost in the East End, though.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely right. But that it's even easier with their accents in Liverpool.
Absolutely. Now, Oleg, they've done the right thing by recruiting cabbies, haven't they?
Yes, they did. Something funny happened actually last Sunday. One local friend of mine, who is a cabbie himself, saw Andy and David in a local pub in the Godalming Guildford area.
Really?
Yes. And he rang me immediately saying, Oleg, what should I do? And what should you do? Ring the wanted hotline immediately and alert them. And so he did.
Wonderful. I've got to put that to the boys. David, Andy, I don't know whether you're getting the studio feed here. Oleg just said a taxi driver mate of his spotted you in Godalming at the weekend. Can you confirm that?
No.
Come on, you know it. You know it. You were in Godalming, weren't you?
We were around there, yeah.
Around that kind of area. So you were spotted in Godalming. How well do you think you've done against Paul?
We got Paul quite worried, actually. Paul was concerned that we'd filmed him. So he got a little bit concerned. We thought we'd lost him, but we were a bit concerned about the castle where we got a guy came back a half an hour later to give us a tour.
OK, now one thing I want to clear up, particularly as both your wives are watching, what is it between you and the woman from the Guildford Tourist Office?
Maggie was an absolute star. Absolute star. There was no room at the inn. That's an old story. And Maggie took us under a wing.
Did her husband ever wake up?
Jim was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
OK, right, now I'm going to tell you what you're playing for tonight. You were filmed on Monday at Tunbridge Railway Station. Did you realise that?
We were a bit concerned down there because we had to go down a main high street, so
right.
We were trying to duck, but we couldn't.
Well, I can confirm that you were, and you lose £1,000 for that day. Now, yesterday we've seen you the film at the Castle Pub in Croydon. Now, I better talk to Dave because that wasn't a guided tour, was it? You were giving her a guided tour.
I'll put you on to Dave.
Talk to Dave. Do you call that a guided tour? Did you call
There
that
you go, Richard.
you call that a guided tour of the castle? You were supposed, you know, she was supposed to give you one, if you'll pardon the expression.
I beg your pardon.
Anyway, let me tell you, right now, you lose points because it wasn't a proper guided tour, but tonight, Dave and Andy, you're playing for £5,000, provided... That's provided you don't get captured. Provided you don't get captured. Now, Tanya, have we got any idea, any specific idea where they might be?
We've had calls from earlier today putting them around the Shoreditch area, but we still need something specific.
Nothing specific. Let's go to Paul Denchfield. Paul, hi, can you hear me?
Hi, Richard, how you doing?
Hello, mate. More to the point, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing all right. I'm here at Hackney Town Hall because it's technically the best place to be, but I've got a whole load of cabs. I've enlisted about 2,000 cabs. I don't know why. Guys, go! Get going! All right, well, they're going to go out hunt all over the place.
We've got every cabbie in London on the case, haven't we? Now tell me, where were you when you discovered that they were in Hackney?
Where was I this morning?
Yeah.
I was in Battersea this morning.
OK, now how did you manage to lose them?
Basically, today I spent the whole day trying to track them down. I've got about 2,000 cabbies looking for them. That's almost as many phone boxes as there is out there.
OK.
So I reckon I stand a pretty good chance.
All right, well, we'll find out how well you're doing. Tanya, what about the update on our other team?
Well, we've just had very exciting calls. We've had 2 calls positively citing the boys Scott and Drew in a phone box on Lodge Lane by Solihull Station, which is near a roundabout at McDonald's. So Victoria, who's on the right of your screen, she's the car symbol, is not far away at all. That's just over a kilometre. And there to the west of the screen, they're the runner symbol there, and they're well within her sights now.
OK, so we could be on for a capture there if we're looking. If we come round and we have a look at our big map over here, we can say the boys there, they've been spotted in Solihull, near McDonald's in Lodge Lane. If you've seen them, or if you've seen our other team in East London, give us a call, 0990 100 300, and join us after the break and find out how our 2 sisters from London cracked under the strain of Wanted. They threw in the towel, even though they stood to win £6,000. Thank you. Welcome back to Wanted, the new high-tech game of hide and seek with £168,000 worth of prize money at stake. Now, there are 2 teams out there. We're playing in London and Solihull tonight, and you'll notice there's a clock in the corner of your screen. That is how long the game has to run. When it reaches 0, a klaxon will sound and the game's up. If the runners aren't caught by then, they win all the money they've accumulated this week, and they go on to play for another £7,000 next week. Now, as I said, there are still 2 teams out there, but sadly there's one we haven't met yet. And this is because they cracked under the stress of being chased by SAS-trained Dave McBride. Now, we can't speak to them because they're already on their way home, but they have left us a filmed record of their week. And Lisa and Andrea's task this week was to go to a different football club every day and interview a member of staff there. Lacking any real plan, they spent the first night at their dad's house in West London, which, as it happened, actually made their first task relatively easy, even for 2 girls who know nothing about football.
We're still in London, we're at Chelsea. We managed to ask a cab driver and he said yes, there are staff at Chelsea.
They arrived at Stamford Bridge as fans were laying tributes to Matthew Harding, the club's vice-chairman, who was killed last week.
Are you a Chelsea football supporter?
Yes. I support Chelsea and it's a wonderful club. I'm happy I'm working for them.
A loyal employee.
Thank you.
2 hours later, Dave was quizzing their dad, but Dad was keeping Mum.
This is Mr. Peter Gordon, Andrea and Lisa's father. I'm in his house at Shepherd's Bush. I'm trying to find out where the girls have gone. Chelsea Football Club, think they might be going there today?
No idea.
By now, the girls were 10 miles away in Croydon, getting a crash course in football at a local cafe.
But we have been given by Andre a about football. Magazine about football.
What can do?
I don't know if it's any help. At least we now know what a footballer looks like.
By the following morning, paranoia has set in.
We've just got up. It's now about, what time is it? 7 o'clock? I've had hardly any sleep. Not thinking straight. Let's just go. Let's go.
They bolt for the station and take a train to Portsmouth.
Oh my God, we are really on the run, and it feels
scary.
We're falling up. Right, we've had a call. Someone's seen them on the train to Portsmouth. I'm going to go down there, see if they're there.
At this point, the girls lose the plot completely. They jump train at Guildford and run into the nearest field.
And we just need now to get to a station and/or get to a B&B and try and get our task done. So that's not much, is it? I'm really pleased I did this. Kill you, Lisa.
They do manage to pull themselves together just in time to get to Swindon Football Club that night.
And I'm with Roy Cleverly, who is...
I just adore him in Swindon Town Football Club.
Meanwhile, Dave thinks they're in Portsmouth.
This is what's called an ambush. An ambush where the bush doesn't turn up.
As dawn breaks over Pompey Stadium, Dave forms his own fantasy football league.
I'll swap you Graham Kavanagh for Mick Harford.
Dave might be seeing stars, but the girls are seeing Dave everywhere.
I thought I saw this guy stand up. I thought, obviously, I'm just so proud. I thought, it's Dave. Oh, Andrew, down. We both went down like this. It's Dave. And I looked up again, and I thought I saw this big black camera come up. I thought he's filming. I thought, damn, we've lost it, you know. And then Andrea looked up and went, where? I went over there, and she went, it's a horse, Lisa.
Who did you think was tracking you, Mr. Ed? Anyway, on Sunday it was off to St Andrews, but it was shut due to lack of interest, and that cost them £1,000. By now, Dave is closing in. He appeals for clues on a Midlands radio station.
They win £1,000 every day, so don't feel any sympathy for them.
So £1,000 they win each day if they're not found?
That's right.
That's what he said. The girls send themselves to Coventry, convinced Dave is on their trail, but he's nowhere near.
We're going to try and get in. I hope to God Dave's not around.
All right, this is a really quick interview because we've been caught and they've got the Channel 4 wanted poster.
Where's the facts?
Which they phoned. We've got permission to put you on camera, yes?
Yeah, go on.
OK, thank you so much, Nova.
We've been caught.
We've got to go.
You know what they say, just because you're paranoid, it doesn't mean they're not out to get you. Paranoia's played a big part in this story, hasn't it, Oleg?
Yes, unfortunately, they were very paranoid. Paranoia is a dangerous weakness for any spy or any person on the run. But in their case, it was not just paranoia because of paranoia. It was because of they were poorly organized. They were chaotic. They were prone to panic. And particularly, which is very important, they didn't have a plan. Profound, good plan, and no route of their journey.
Now, when you were on the run from the KGB, when you were defecting through Finland to England, I mean, you had a plan, but didn't you ever get just a little bit paranoid?
I was slightly, because I had to be alert, but I was not exaggeratedly paranoid, just because I had a plan. I had a plan, a general plan, 7 years old, and then I had a plan for a week, and each day I had a plan for a day. And that's why the KGB was beaten.
They kept seeing Dave where he didn't exist. Were you seeing KGB men on your trail when they weren't anywhere to be found?
Yes, no, not really, because I was a professional after all. So I was able to see where the real surveillance was there, or secret agents, and where there was nothing dangerous.
Do you often find, I mean, you've been hunting criminals, professional criminals, do they eventually turn themselves in because they just can't cope with the pressure of life on the run?
Well, some do. I mean, certainly in the case of these two girls, I mean, they exaggerated to themselves what they're up against. I mean, you've only got to look at their route. It looks like a piece of spaghetti. There's no organisation, there's absolutely nothing there. And, yeah, I guess a lot of people that escape from prison, because that's the nearest analogy you can make. People escape from prison that don't have any proper plan, don't have any backup, they've got nowhere to run to ground. Eventually they get cold, dispirited, and it's probably rougher on the run than it is actually being in prison, serving their sentence.
Let's go to Dave McBride, because Dave is the man who eventually sent these girls over the edge. Dave, good evening. Can you hear me, Dave?
Richard? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Richard, how are you?
Good, man. I'm very well. I mean, what have you done to these poor girls?
I don't know, Richard. I'm a bit worried about this effect I have on women, I must say. Although I'm as mystified as everyone else.
But the thing about it,
they're doing well.
The truth about it, Dave, is you weren't anywhere near them, were you? I mean, until the last day.
I wasn't anywhere near them. It was their fear that got to them in the end. It wasn't me. And the more I told them, don't worry, you're doing all right, the worse they got. I guess I don't understand women very well.
How close do you think you came?
Well, I was starting slowly, working up for a big finish. You don't really get any points being ahead. And I knew that they weren't going to go anywhere at the end. And I was going to catch up with them.
Did you know they were in it? Where were you when you found out they were in Ipswich today?
In Ipswich.
You were in Ipswich. So you think that if they hadn't thrown in the towel, they would have you'd have captured them anyway?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. But full credit to them. They employed some very good techniques. They got off buses, they got into taxis, they walked, and in some days they were like pretty well-oiled terrorist organisation. Nobody knew where they were going, but unfortunately their own fear was just too much for them.
Have you spoken to them since?
I have, actually. I spoke to them tonight, and I told them I was sorry to see them go, because I did have a genuine affection for them, but Andrea's got the flu quite badly, I'm afraid. It's
Poor girl.
sad.
All right, Dave, well, you live to fight another day. We're going to pick another team of runners later in the programme to send out after you. Stay with us. We've only got, as you can see from the clock, just over 2.5 minutes. Tanya, how are we doing on our other two chases?
Well, we've just had another call in. We actually think that the last two leads we had, putting our boys Scott and Drew at Solihull Station, were actually hoax, because this call puts them at Farmhouse Way, which is to the southwest of Solihull. That's near Widney Manor Golf Club, and Victoria is now at the junction of the M42 near Widney Manor. That's about 1 kilometre away.
OK, well, let's see if we can join Victoria. Victoria, can you hear me? We can hear you. You're cracking up a bit. Whereabouts are you?
Pardon, Richard, can you repeat that?
Yeah, no, OK, we've heard you're on the M42. My mobile phone cracks up like that. Let's go to the chaps you're chasing. Look, Drew and Scott. There, she's on the M42. She could be heading your way. Do you think you're going to make it?
I don't know. I'm really nervous.
Only 1 minute 40 left. Tanya, where exactly did the sighting say they were?
They say they're at Farmhouse Way.
Farmhouse Way, Solihull. Does that ring a bell with you?
No, it's the first time I've been in Solihull yesterday, so I don't know anywhere around here.
So you look at him. He's worried. Look at Scott. Look at him trembling. Look at him, absolutely terrified. So you've only got a minute to find out. Let's see if we can try Victoria again. Are you going to get there, Victoria?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me, Richard?
OK, so, all right, we'll come back to you. Again, it's cracking up. We'll come back to you in a minute. Dave and Andy are still somewhere in East London. You're feeling comfortable, lads? Less than a minute to go.
Don't know, we've had an awful lot of visitors outside this spot.
All right, so we'll go to Paul Denchfield and find out how he's getting on. Paul Denchfield, come in.
Hi, how you doing,
All
Richard?
right, boss, you've got 45 seconds to capture them.
I'm busting everything to get there. I'm just running into traffic lights, traffic jams. I'm doing everything I can.
Where do you think they are?
They're literally about a minute's drive away.
You haven't got a minute. You've got 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27. Dave and Andy, 25. Dave and Andy, 25 seconds away. He's very, very close. Dave and Andy, he's coming towards you. You've got 13 seconds to live. Is he going to make it? 9, 8, 7.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Brilliant. He didn't make it. Look, that klaxon, as I explained, means the game is over. Both of our teams out there, Drew and Scott and Dave and Andy, have lived to fight another day. Look at them. Right. OK, I want to go to Drew. you did well. You were getting worried there, weren't
yeah,
you?
we've never been so worried. I thought we were caught, Richard. I thought that was us had it.
Do you realise, lads, you have won £7,000 this week. Congratulations. Brilliantly.
Richard, can I just thank everyone that's helped us this week, because everyone has been tremendous.
You're going to need all the help you can get next week. You've got to go to a different cathedral every day of the week and have a tea with the bishop or a member of his staff. Off you go. Let's go to Dave and to Dave and Andy. Hi, chaps. £5,000. Didn't you do well?
Oh, superb, mate. You've got us sweating there.
OK, right. You're on the run. The lads here, John and Oleg, think you're going to make the full 8 weeks. If you're going to do that, your task for the next 7 days is to drive a different make of new car valued at £50,000. On you go. We'll talk to you next Wednesday. Right. We have to release new runners. Let's open the gates. Who have we got here? We've got Kay and Francesco. Are you worried?
A little bit, yes.
A little bit? Are you worried?
A little.
I'll tell you what your task is. You've got to spend 15 minutes on an ice rink every day, OK? That's your task. You stay with us. The show is over tonight. The game goes on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We've got to say good night. But as of now, until next Wednesday, these two are wanted. Good night.